Hello and welcome. Today is the last part of the video series, Blend Beginner series. So in this video, we are going to animate our character. So up to now, we did modeling, UV unwrapping, text painting, then we did rigging. So this is a part of the animation. So we already did that part. So now we just have to animate our character. So as you can see, there are a few working spaces. So these are for different purposes. So now we are going to the animation working space. So there is a process when you're producing 3D content. So as you can see, we are in one of the last steps. We can start the process now. So first go to this down area. So select this drop sheet, change it to action editor. Now we are going to create a new action. So just hit new, so you can give it any name you like. So I'm going to say walk and press enter. Now I'm going to enable this fake use option, so it will save the animation. So under here we can see there is a keying option. So keying option is a kind of adding keyframes. So under here we can see active keying set, so it doesn't have value. So in this case I'm going to choose location and rotation. So there are a few stuff, so you can add keyframes for location of the bones, rotation and the scale of the bones. So in this case I only need location and rotation. Make sure you have enabled that. Now under here we can see there is a timeline. So this is what we are going to use for the animations. If I go to this output tab, you can see the frame rate is 24. So that's the default frame rate for most of the animations. So I am going to stick with that. So that means every second there will be 24 frames. So that means from first frame to go to the 24th frame, it will take 1 second. So that means this video only lasts about 10 seconds. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can work with 3D space with. So press number pad 3. Then I'm going to zoom a little bit. So now I'm going to layout mode. Then make sure you are in the object mode. I'm going to shift A, add mesh. In this case, I'm going to choose plane, so you can use adoption as well. So under here at plane, you can see the size is only 2 meters, so I'm going to make it about 20. Alright. So now I'm going to move this to the front side of the character. So I'm going to move a little bit up, maybe a little bit backward, just like that. So this will guide us to where the animation is going on. So I'm going back to the animations. So we are going to animate our character in the same location. So then later we are going to add a curve that will guide the character to move in that certain path. So if you are a game developer, you may know this. So most of the time you are using animation in place. Sometimes you may use something like root motion, so that will enable animations to control the character in video games. Since this is a video, so in this video I'm not going to talk about those things. This method is very easy because we only need to add few keyframes. So we can copy and paste the keyframes. Okay, so select our armature. Now I'm going to make the timeline a little bit larger. Number pad 3, go to sideways. So now, I'm going to post mode and I'm going to enable the X-ray so I can see all the bones. In the previous video, I hid some bones, so I may need some of the bones back. So I'm going to press Alt H to unhide the bones. Now I'm going to press C to circle selection. Then I'm going to middle click on the bones I think I need. So you need this head bone. So middle click on this bone it will unselect the bone. Then I may need these 2 bones as well. Then right click to cancel. So now I'm going to press H again. So now we unhide these bones. So if you need to go to unhide all the bones, Alt H, then H2, hide the selected bones. So now we can start the animation process. So as I told you earlier, we are going to animate in pose. So I'm going to select this bone. So I'm going to select the motor. This is the root bone we added later in the previous video. So I'll move it a little bit down. So before starting, I recommend you to get some reference, so it will much easier when you're animating. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer to here. So I'm going to select this bone. I'm going to move it a little bit down. Then I'm going to select these leg bones, all of them. Press Shift to select multiple bones. So I'm going to move it a little bit up. So around here, I'm going to select all the things a little bit up. Then if I zoom a little bit, you can see there is a curve a little bit. So I'm going to rotate this a little bit so I can adjust a good starting position. Alright, since we are going to animate in the same location, we have to loop our animation. So loops will continue forever. That's the kind of thing we are going to do today. So because of that, I'm not going to start with this position. So because we have to loop our animation, I'm going to pose this character into a more natural position. So something like this. In most cases, this kind of animal walk. So its legs goes opposite side. So if one leg go front, other leg will go back. So because of that, I am going to move this bone forward. Then I'm going to move this bone backward. Alright. So now come to here. I'm going to move this left side of the leg. Not this side. I'm going to move it a little bit backward. And I'm going to move it this leg a little bit forward. So you make sure it won't clamp into another. So I think I need to move the whole character a little bit off. In this case, we are going to animate like it's on a treadmill. So it only walk in the same position. If I go to the output right here, you can see the frame rate is 24. This is a standard frame rate for most of the animated videos. So down here, we can see we have 250 frames. So that means our video will only last 250 frames. That's roughly about 10 seconds. So I think we need more than that. So because of that, I think we need at least 30 seconds. So I'm going to change this to 800. So that will be a more suitable frame size. So first, I'm going to press A to select all the bones and press I. So it will add 3 frames for all the bones we selected over here. So now, since we have about 800 frame, but we only need the animation around, I think, 50 to 60 frames because we can loop it over and over again. So I'm going to move all these animation into 0%. So you can do it by select this top dot and move it to the 0%. Then I'm going to change this start animation to 0. So we can animate with the similar gap every time. So I'm going to the 8th frame. Now I'm going to select this bone. I'm going to move it a little bit up. Then I'm going to select this bone as well. The right leg, move it a little bit up as well. Make sure the mesh won't intersect to itself. Alright, so I think this is a good pose. Now I'm going to move the tail into around center, then the head to the center as well. Now I'm going to press A to select all the bones and press I. So if I go to the 0th frame, you can see the changes. So now I think you need to change these bones as well. I'm going to the 16th frame. Now we're going to 24th frame. As you can see, I'm going by 8 frames every time I add keyframes. So now I'm going to 32nd frame. Alright, seems like things working. So now we have to make a duplicate of this side to this side. So we copy the 8th frame. Now we are going to 60th frame, Control C. Now we're going to 48th frame, Control V, press I. So now we have this set of animation. You can copy and paste over and over again. So I'm going to Control C. Then I'm going to 64 plus 8, 72. Control V. Hope this works. So now I'm going to fill the gap within this animation. So there are easy ways to do this, but this is being a friendly one. I'm going to do it in this way. So now we have about 130 frames. So now we are going to make a little bit of adjustment here and there. So it will make it more random. Now I think I need to fix some of the poses and the legs. So always avoid the first frame and the last frame. I think other frames. So when you make these sudden changes, you don't have to select all bones. You just need to select the particular bone only. Alright, I think I am happy with this result. So I'm going to make it a little bit larger so I can see all the keyframes, and I'm going to select all the keyframes except the first. Control C to copy all the way. So I'm going to 28. Now go to 36. Control V. So now paste. Alright, I think I'm done. So now hit play. You can see our dinosaur is walking. Now I'm going to stop this. Hit this jump to the endpoint option. It will go back to the first frame. So now our character is only animated in the same position. So we are going to add a path to guide it. So first of all, I'm going to select the plane and I will make it a little bit larger by going to the edit mode. I think this will be enough, so go back to the object mode. Now I'm going to Shift C to center the cursor right here. Now I'm going to Shift A, add curve, path. Alright, so it is a little bit harder to see, but it's already there. So now I'm going to, while selecting the path, you can see right here, we are going to edit mode. Now, press number patch 7 to go to the top view. Then, we'll edit this. So this is like the Bezier tool. You can see in some tools. So make sure it is only move in the X and Y axis only. So don't make any changes to the Z axis. So that means don't move things like this. Only keep it flat. So now I'm going to object mode. Then I'll switch to the solid mode. Then I'm going to select our path. Under here we can see data properties. Then we're going to select the curve. Then go to data properties under here. And under here we can see path animation. So as you can see, we have 800 frames. It may be differ from the size of your object and the frames you are having in the project. I think this distance is more than enough to cover the 800 frames. So that may be differ. Since I have 800 frames, I'm going to put here 800 as well. So now I am going to select our character's armature. Now under here, we're going to select, go to the constraints. And here, add object constraints. And select follow path. I think you can add bond constraint in the force mode as well, but this method is working fine with me. So now I'm going to select the target as our path. You can show in the Z axis. Maybe you have to tinker it based on your character. So I'm going to follow path. I think this is the right choice for me. It may be a little bit different for you. So now I'm going to hit this button, animate path. So it will animate the path to character to go. So switch axis and make sure you enable follow curve option. So I'm going to hit this. Then I'm going to hit play. It will animate this path. So wait until the animation is ended. Alright, so now we have some animations. Next thing I'm going to do is select our camera, then press 0 in the numpad. Then I'm going to press shift and this button, I don't know what it's called. So now I can go it like the first person viewer, like in a video game, and move along the mouse and the WASD keys. So now we are going to the shaded up. So you can change the shading if you like, but now I'm just going to render this scene. So first go to the world scene. So we can see it is very dark. So I'm going to select our lamp. Then I'm going to the light settings. I will change it to an area lamp. I'm going to move around here. Alright, so you can add the HDR if you like. So just you have the Shift A, texture. In this case, select environment texture. So now collect the color into here. Then you can open HDR if you like. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. Let's go to these output properties. Under here, you can see output. So we are going to export each and individual frames into this certain folder. We'll select this one. Then select the output folder you want to select. So I already prepare a folder for it. Then select, and you can create a new folder if you like here. Then I'm going to hit accept. Now you can select the file format. This is an image format. I am fine with PNG. You can change if you like for JPG, for other image format, but I do not recommend go with the video at once because it may break sometimes and it may not work as properly. But if I use images, we can edit these images, then we can export it to video again. So now we are going to make a video from this animation. So in order to do that, we have to render our frames. So to render our frames, we're going to use a render engine. In this case, we are going to use Eevee. You can use cycles if you like, but it is very resource intensive. It is less resource intensive, but lack of some details, but it is very performant compared to the cycle. So cycle is more realistic one. It is less realistic. So when you are rendering, you have to remember a few things. So when I go to this render properties, under here we can see render samples. This will be the most affecting factor when you are rendering. So when you give it a lower value, it will render quickly but less details. Then when you go for higher sample value, it will take more time to render. So you have to balance this value in order to get a better result. The computer's performance is mostly affected. I think for this demonstration, I think we will be enough with 20 and change the resolution if you like, but I'm sure you have enough details. In this case, I'm going to stick with 1080p, but if you like, you can go higher or lower. So if I hit render and render image, it took about 4 seconds for me. You can get an idea how much it takes to render the whole thing. It's hard to remember these things, so it will make rendering much easier. Alright, now all you have to do is render animation. So it will animate from 0th frame to 800th frame. So now the things have been rendered. So all you have to do is save the current file. So I'm saved it, Control S. You can do it like this. So I'm going to create a new file. Select in this case. So I'm going to create new file. In this case, I'm going to select video editing. Right. So we created a new file. So under here we can see there's a window called video sequence. So we can add our previous frame. So all you have to do is add image sequence. Now go to where you have saved your files. You have to select all the files by A and add image stripe. So once you've done that, you can see we have our animation. Just like that. Now you have to set the in frame of this animation as well. So this is 800. So you can color grade and do other stuff you like, but in this case I'm not going to do that. So now you have to do is go to the rendering tab again. Now select TV. Now you don't have to worry about sampling size because this will quickly render. Now go to the output. Now make sure you have selected 24 frames like before. If you select 30, you can select 30 right here. Then I'm going to output this file. So now I'm going to select a folder for output. Now you have to select the file format. So this automatically select the video file. Now you can select between black and white, RGB, other stuff, but I'm not going to go for there because this is a quick render. So now you have to do is render animation. So it will quickly render all the animations. Alright, now I'm going to close the rendering window. So now if I go to the folder, I can see from 0001 to 0800. Alright, now we finished our video series. So thank you very much for sticking with me for this long. Now this is the end of the video and end of the series as well. So Blender Beginner series is now over. So now you know the fundamentals of the Blender. So now you can play around and watch more advanced tutorials. You can suggest a name for our character since it doesn't have a name. Thank you very much. Then I will hope to see you in the next video, and make sure to subscribe so you will see more content like this in the future.